how to improve your breathing and your oxygenation. Now I'm going to talk about 4 different steps, and if you take these steps, you will drastically improve your breathing and your oxygenation by up to 80%. And so, hi, I'm Jeff Broomfield, and I'm a hypnotist, and I've been studying breathing for the last 15 years or so. And breathing is what I use to overcome migraine headaches. It wasn't me, I was taught this breathing exercise, and I just pass this on to other people to help them in their lives now. And the first tip here is to always nose breathe. And our bodies are designed to breathe through the nose, and our mouth is made for eating and for talking, right? So if you're talking, then when you talk, when you need to inhale again, what we tend to do is just, we've taken a massive amount of air so that we can keep talking because, hey, if you pause for too long, somebody else will jump in and talk. So what you need to do is when you're talking, stop and breathe in through your nose. That'll improve your oxygenation when you're talking. And especially some people say you breathe in through your nose and then out through your mouth. That's not good for you either. And what happens when you breathe through your mouth in or out is it actually dries your mouth out. And so it's not really meant for that. So you want to really inhale through your nose. And I don't know if you got breathing tubes in, if you can still breathe out through your nose or not. You may have to modify that, but always inhale through the nose. Never inhale through your mouth. Mouth breathing actually causes all kinds of problems, all kinds of health problems, and you just want to avoid that as much as possible. Tip number 2 was to expand your lung capacity by breathing deeply into your belly. Okay, and so what happens here is that you push your stomach out, and your diaphragm is right around in here. And you can actually feel your diaphragm and control that muscle and push it down. And for some people, a lot of people are chest breathers. And they breathe rapidly and at the top. And really, that's mild hyperventilation. And some people are actually into quite a bit of hyperventilation. And what that does is it creates anxiety and fear, and you have to be in control because you don't feel like you're in control, and so you try to control everything around you, but really what you need to do is control your breath. And so if you're breathing up there in your chest, this here will help to expand your breathing by about as much as 80% because you're not breathing down into your full lungs. And to do that, you have to push down with your diaphragm, and you can if you haven't got the ability to push down on your diaphragm right yet, you can push your belly out. We can all do that. So push your belly out. And if you can feel the diaphragm, push that down and fill yourself up as much as possible. And then once that's filled, fill your chest as well. Let that expand at the end. And then let it go, right? So inhale as deeply as you can and really fill yourself up with oxygen. Okay, and the next tip number 3, is to extend your exhale so that it's longer than your inhale. So and just slow it down as much as you can. And counting your breath. And counting your breath is sort of like a meditation. And so when you count your breath, you focus on what you're doing and you focus on your breath. And so you're super focused, and you set a goal to get to 4-4-8 breathing for now. Now, whatever you can do is where you start, and you start expanding from there. So if you can only do 2, 2, and 2, well, the first thing, stick with the 2. Or when you expand your breathing like that, if you could do it even longer. So, move that up to 3, and then hold for 3, and then exhale for, 4 or 5, whatever you could do to extend that at the end. Do whatever you can there to make that longer. So rapid, shallow breathing is really hyperventilation. And so when you feel like you can't get enough air, and this happens to a lot of people who have asthma, or if they have a panic attack, and they feel like they can't catch their breath. And so the intuitive thing to do is to breathe more. But what happens when you breathe more is you start to hyperventilate even more. And so it makes it even worse. So you feel like you can't even get air even worse. And so you keep breathing harder and harder, and you never can catch your breath because you are hyperventilating. And so it's counterintuitive. And what you need to do is slow down and slow down your breath. So it's the opposite of what you think that you need to do. So when you feel you can't get enough air, then slow down your breathing. Now, another thing that happens here is that you starve your body of CO2. So CO2 is necessary. It's the trigger that tells your hemoglobin to release your oxygen. So it has to be at adequate levels in your blood and in your lungs at all time. So overbreathing depletes that. So you could get a feeling of air hunger when you do this. That it's a little bit of an odd feeling. It's a different feeling than the feeling you get when you're hyperventilating. I know because I've done both. But this is a little bit of an odd feeling. And when you are holding your breath and you're extending that exhale, and if you get a little bit of a weird feeling, you just got to push yourself through that and get through that. So those are my 4 tips. Number 1, always nose breathe. 2, breathe deeply into your belly. 3, extend your exhale so it's longer than the inhale. And number 4, count your breath and aim to get to 4-4-8 breathing. So those are my 4 tips. Thanks for tuning in. You'll find a link below to my full breathing playlist here. I've got lots of different information on that. I've got a stress playlist, and I got free hypnosis too. And so thanks for tuning in. And make sure that you give me a like here, comment, and share this with other people if you think that they'll get use out of it. And as well, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And till next time, have a good one.